So I think that's where I get it from. Like, long as you don't rub me the wrong way, I'm gonna talk to you.
Look, that's a good place for us to start.
Yeah,
Right there. Long as you don't,
yeah. You better not
long
rub
as
me wrong. Yeah.
long as you don't rub me the wrong way, I'm
Can
gonna
I,
talk to you.
it don't really take much though for her
Right.
though, you
Don't
know.
take much.
You know.
I'm so excited. I have y'all here for episode 2.
Oh yeah.
I know.
I forgot.
We're gonna get into who y'all is in a minute, but
Okay.
it's episode 2, as told by podcast. This is Kahja. I'm so excited because I feel like I jumped over every COVID hurdle today to be recording. So I'm just glad to be able to sit down and have the conversation. But today's episode is the road to entrepreneurship, as told by, and I'm going to let my guests introduce themselves. So we'll start. Look, I'm going to point at you. You start with you. Introduce yourself.
Princess Sims.
And I'm Brownie, and we're the final sauce.
And my name is MarQuita. I'm the owner of That's My Jam Company.
Okay. Owners, everybody's originally from the Bay Area. It was important to me to talk to people who are born and raised in this area because I've been here, I said, for almost 8 years now. I love it here. I have so much fun patronizing all the different Black businesses that are here. And so I've had occasion to try the products of each of these businesses. Final Sauce took me out the grocery store. I will not be buying Sweet Baby Nobodies anymore. What's the other one? Kinders. I'm sure they're lovely people, but I ain't buying it. I got sweet potato barbecue sauce and Hennessy barbecue sauce at the house, so Final Sauce got me set up. And don't get me started on the jams. I mean, I'd had jam on yogurt, jam on chicken, jam on salmon, jam on Brussels sprouts. I'd had the jam in the cocktails and everything. And I have so much respect for you all individually for what you've been able to do in your businesses. So I'm glad y'all are here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you for having us.
Yeah. So start by, for people, because I imagine there are people who, I hope there will be people listening outside the Bay Area who maybe don't know what the businesses are and certainly haven't had the product. So MarQuita, why don't you go ahead and start and talk a bit about what your business actually is?
So my business is a jam company, but more than that, it's a low sugar, pectin-free jam company. And it really came to be in COVID when I just got curious about growing produce. And I told myself that I was just going to be very intentional with my experiences. And that landed me out in a farm that just so happened to be selling pints of strawberry for like $1. And I just was on this mission of just feeling joy and something about being amongst the produce and the land. And it was a beautiful day. I just bought strawberries and I kept buying them. And something in my mind was like, that's enough strawberries. But I just kept buying them. And I came home and I had the real reality of what was I going to do with all these strawberries. And someone suggested to make jam. That's how it started. I started researching jam recipes, and I was blown away by how much sugar goes into jam. One recipe even said 1 cup of fruit to 1 cup of sugar. And
That's a lot.
It's a lot. And in my naiveness in the moment, I just said, I'm not doing that. Just point blank. Later on, I understood the science behind it, but I just went on a mission to put fruit as the main ingredient in every jar. And so I decided no pectin. I decided low sugar. And that has been my journey ever since.
Okay. Low pectin, low sugar, and still good. Fruit has enough natural sugar in it, so I'll tell you from personal experience, the jams are still delicious, even though they are not highly sweetened. And then Brownie and Princess, barbecue sauce mavens over here. Talk a bit about the Final Sauce and how it got started.
So, my aunt used to work at this famous barbecue spot called Flint's when we were kids, before we were even born. And that's what we grew up on. I'm the person in the family that tries to reproduce everything. And I became my mom's sous chef. That was how we built a relationship. where it wasn't yelling and screaming or I'm being criticized. I would be her chopper and her taster. So about a little over 10 years ago, we would always have to wait for my aunt to make it or my mother to make it. And you get tired of that because they take all day, right? And so I'm like, why don't you show me this? Because, these are family secrets that we should know. And, I'm going to do it, baby. And, that never happened. So I used to play with stuff, and I could taste stuff and say, okay, I think it's this, and I think it's this. And I played with it until I figured it out. So I love to entertain. And Nana from 510 used to come to my house with water bottles and empty juice bottles and fill up on barbecue sauce. So then one day he said to me, you sitting on a business. And I was, on my own journey on another career. And I wasn't, and of course, raising my kid. I was like, well, I can get them to do it because they know how to make it exactly like this place. This is my version of it. And he's like, no, you need to just go on and do it. So after my mom and my aunt said no. So then when my mom passed, I was sitting around and I was just like, it's time. I want something different. And it kept bothering me about what he said. And then people would call and, are you making barbecue sauce? Are you making barbecue sauce? And so I called Nana and I said, what should I do about this? And he said, you're going to have to play until you get it the exact recipe. So 510 were the first tasting. This is too thick. This is too sweet. And it started with one barbecue sauce. So my aunt, when I finally got the recipe to what the recipe was, then me and my aunt and my son went into a commercial kitchen. And then she taught me how to make it exactly like them, but then that's not ready for bottle. So I had to figure that out. So it took a couple of years of playing and testing the market to see what it would do and testing it took me 2 years to come up with the name. So the final sauce is really my name, which is Florence Sims.
Oh, wait. I'm looking for the bridge between Florence Sims and the final sauce. Is it the FS?
Yes.
Okay.
So one, I was hiding, and I didn't want anybody to know it was me. So I told people, it's my family.
We're going to come back to that.
Yeah.
Put a bookmark in that.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to come back to that.
So I didn't want no one to know it was me. So I did business as my parents' initials. Both my parents are deceased. So CJ Sims sounds like a man, but you don't know if it's white or black. So the final sauce, even though it's a bold statement, it's true. So my homework was to find why I liked certain packagings and what my customers, and that took a long time to do it, and they challenged me because it started in a mason jar. And the reason why was because I don't like plastic bottles, and I don't like the bottle that look like salad dressing or those other non-brand, off-brands with all that foolishness in the bottle, right? And so I played with it, and then we launched at the Art and Soul, sold out. I have no bottles left. And we had to be here for 3 days. So I killed my IKEA on their bottles, and me and my son was in the kitchen making more barbecue sauce and sold out again.
And Princess, were you in on that from that
I
point?
was,
For people who don't know them, Brownie and Princess are sisters.
Yes.
Yes.
At the time, I was doing my corporate world thing in St. Louis and in Virginia while all of this was going on.
Okay.
And I had reached a point in my life where I wanted something different. And literally, I felt like if I didn't leave, I would be dead. And so I'm quick to make a decision and live with a decision. And I quit my job, packed up a shipping container, shipped it back to California, and bought Brownie a plane ticket to Virginia.
And Hope.
And Hope paid for a ticket, but Hope flew out there. And we drove back to California.
And got
5 days in a Honda Civic with 3 dogs and 3 grown women.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait. Let's back up on that. 5 days
5 days it took us to drive from
in a
Virginia,
Honda Civic.
In a Honda
So
Civic.
Three grown women and 3 dogs.
3 grown
the
women and 3
reason
dogs.
for the extended stay, I have a issue with traveling at night and not sleeping and taking a bath. We need to walk in excellence. So we gonna drive from a certain time to a certain time, and then we checking into a hotel. And I had just had surgery, so I hopped in. We gonna drive, and every morning you got to get up. You gonna put on your makeup. We gonna eat, and then we're gonna drive back, and we're gonna take our time. And it was some of the funnest laughs. The dogs wore me out. I drugged them with some Norcals, and that was funny too. It was horrible, but it was funny. But so I think the other part of your question is, what is the common thread? Is discipline. I'm very disciplined and very focused, and I don't get off focused.
Okay.
And I don't allow people, including men, to take
That's
me.
another bookmark. We get into that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't allow, when you tell me I can't do something, that little 12-year-old kid is going to prove you wrong. I'm petty as fuck, and I'm going to show you.
And you have.
And I have.
And you have. You know, you make an interesting point about your upbringing and some of the ways of being that bred in you that then showed up in your business. And as I'm listening, I think there's a plus and minus to some of that. So really, I'll start this question with MarQuita. I mean, you hear a lot. And I was watching, I don't know if either of y'all have ever seen, Beyonce had a documentary back in 2013, Life is But a Dream. And one of the things she talked about in the documentary is learning from her father about being polite in business and why being polite and being in business oftentimes don't go together. So, you know, having a reputation that precedes you, you know, if your demeanor and your personality, you know, and the societal pressure that women have, I think, you know, disproportionately to be nice. MarQuita, how have you seen that? And let me just say, MarQuita is one of the nicest people I know. She always says,
She's
you
so
know,
sweet.
she's just a sweet person, and she's a good egg. She is. But in business, I would imagine there's some pressure or need to kind of be tough and nice and fair and kind and polite and all those things at the same time. So, you know, with your business emerging, how are you navigating the intersectionality of having a tight hold on your business acumen and still showing up in a way where people will receive you as, and I'm throwing up air quotes, nice and polite?
I don't think nice and polite is a concern for me in this present moment. I feel like I have lived a lot of my life caring what other people thought and how they would perceive what I said and what I did. And I always wanted to be seen as kind. But I think where I am right now in my life, and especially as I step forward into growing my business, I just really want to be authentic. I'm very clear who I am and where I stand. And with every interaction, I want it to be true to that. And so it's important to have the conversation with the people. It's important to tell the truth. It's important to be genuine. It's important to give love. It's important to be honest. Like I focus on working from that authentic space that sits really good in my spirit. And less concerned with, you know, whether they think I'm nice, more so if I'm honest, if I'm having the hard conversations, do I walk in integrity? Am I giving you my word? Those are more so my concerns in where I am right now.
And Princess, I get the feeling you would shrug on this question. If you think I'm nice, I'm nice. And if you don't, fuck it.
She used to be MarQuita.
I'm quiet, and people read that wrong.
Yeah.
How so?
When I was a kid, a lot of people would be like, your name fits you. you're a princess. And if I do anything outside of what a princess is, you know, I said a cuss word one day, and a man said to me, "Oh, you're too pretty to be using that kind of language." Right? You know how people take your kindness for weakness, or your quietness. They think I'm quiet, but then when I flip on them, and they wasn't expecting it. They wasn't expecting because they're, oh, princess is quiet, princess is sweet, and princess is nice. I think I tend to lean more so where MarQuita is, in terms of, because I am nice, I am quiet. I'll find a kinder, quieter way to get the message across. But I also, there's a flip side to me, and I feel like that some of that is where Brownie is at. You know, like she's very no nonsense. All this extra, I'm getting ready to do it with you, and that's part of me as well. Like I'm seeing something here. So, but I'm more quiet about it. If you push me, then it'll come out. And then I get firm. I'm firm. I'm not disrespectful, but I stand on what I said. But I get you heard what I said, right?
I said what I said.
Yeah.
Brownie, I'm smiling at you.
So I am really a softie.
I believe that.
I'm really a softie, and people don't know that my feelings get hurt. As I've in business, my skin has gotten tougher. So what has, I won't say fuck being nice. I'm nice as I can be, but I'm stern. But I let my talent. So before the barbecue sauce game, I've been doing hair for years, and I wanted to be the best.
And let me just say, Brownie's hair is laid as we speak.
It's
Yes,
the best.
beachy waves. Yes.
So the lady who mentored me and helped me work with my anger, it was to speak, I can be quiet and let my talent. So that's where the discipline comes from. When I was homeless, I used to sit on Union Square and watch those women go in and out them stores, and I would study them. I want to walk like that. I watched how they spoke. Everything about them I studied. And then in business, I would be the quietest person in the room, and I watch and I'm observant. I don't always have to ask a question, because the question is going to get asked and I'm going to get the answer. So I studied a lot of people over the years, to where when it was time for me to make my move, I can ask for the money that I wanted, and I'll just do a stare off. Or it was something I learned at a
A
class.
stare off
So like
for the money.
like I'd give you the price, and then I would go use the bathroom and walk away.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. And I walk away. And then you either going to pay it or you not.
Right.
But all that back and forth, we not going to do.
This is not a
No. And so
Delancey Street. We're not going to haggle.
that we're not going to do all of that. And that's because there's a confidence in the discipline. Not cockiness, but confidence. So I'm very, very disciplined about whatever I'm doing. I'm going to be the integrity part of it. And I feel like I give back with not even knowing that I do. I feel like that's something, because somebody gave to me. Miss Edmonds, hopefully one day you guys meet her. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. She saved my life. So her thing was, your mouth can do certain things, but they won't even see you coming. And when you come, you show up and you're disciplined. So I'm never late. If I'm gonna be
Never late. And let me just wait. Let's parallel park on that for 1 second.
Yeah.
The way I always heard it is in business, but in personal as well, but definitely in business, 15 minutes early is on time. On time is late. That's the rule I try to live by.
But that's like, I ain't never
People miss that.
I've never missed a flight.
Okay. I can't say that.
When I worked for the artist, we had to be dressed and made up at 3 a.m. And he didn't play. And I did it. I still wear black to this day. I have to look a certain type of way. I'm planning for my looks right now for July. What I want to look like, how that's going to be. And then I do a PowerPoint for people who, if they're going to travel with me, what we not going to look like. That's the control freak too.
I was about to say, are you sending out wardrobe notes to
Yeah,
the
I
people
sure
who are
do.
traveling with you?
Yeah.
All right then.
But that's just like the weird part of me. But it's in love though,
It's in love.
because I don't want you to get somewhere and then you go, and you be. I tried to tell you,
Looking crazy, and in turn making you look crazy.
No, you ain't gonna make me look crazy. Don't be fly as fuck. But that's just
That's just how you roll.
But I think that as women, if you're pretty, you play small, because people think you're pretty and you're stupid, and you had a great life.
And you can lean into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's a pet peeve of mine. I'm smart as fuck. It doesn't mean that we might have got it there on different ways, but everybody has their power. So in a business, and I tell this to this little smart one right here, you got something that's so powerful, but she gonna build the skin up to where she can still be nice with a smile, and then by the time they realize she really got them, they'll be at home and they'll be like, I think she kind of let me have it real quick.
Yeah, MarQuita gave me a light read earlier today, and I love her for it. She gave me feedback. I received it, and I was like, yes,
I like when she
and get
tells
me together.
Don't, because I love her. Like, I think that like somebody was cheating. Somebody was creeping. We need to do a DNA test, right? But she's like our other part of our family. But I know I get on her nerves.
Yeah. Well, look, you brought me right to my next question, because one of the things that y'all's businesses share in common is working with family. So Brownie and Princess, y'all are sisters, and MarQuita, I know your mom plays a role in helping you with your business as well. And I think anybody would say that could be a slippery slope, working with your family or doing things with family where there's money involved. So I would love to hear from each of you what your experience has been working with family.
Hi, Mom. No, again, I'm just starting this process, and so I've always heard in business that it will be your friends and your family that you will think will show up and show out for you and be there to support you in all things. And I, wanted to really subscribe to that. And as I have started to take this journey, I have learned that I have to communicate what my need is, the areas that I need help. When it comes to my mom and that relationship, I have to be very clear in terms of instructions of what I need and why I need it. And I think early on, my mom wanted to show up and use the time to create for herself. And I'm like, nope, all of this costs me money. So we not playing with this. Like, you could totally buy your produce and your ingredients and create whatever you want to do. But at this time, at this moment, everything is coming out of my pocket. And so this is how this will go. And I think we're finally there, but it took some time. But other than that, like, working with my mother has been great. It has taught me, though, one, the importance of communicating in business, the importance of not assuming that people know that you need help, because, there were times where I'm like, I had to pull this. I have some friends that, like, I grew up with from, like, 3rd grade, and we're still friends, and I had to pull them aside and be like, hey, do you see what I'm trying to do over here? I got labels. I got to pack all this stuff up. Like, you ain't offered to do nothing. And I think it's also shown me. Up until this point, I've kind of been the person that I can do it. I can put everything on my back. I can do all things in my head and in my heart, but physically I cannot. And so as I juggle having a full-time job, trying to start my business, I have realized the importance of opening my mouth and not taking it personal that, my family and my friends aren't showing up, but asking and being very clear about, like, this is what my need is. And even now, as I say that, I'm thinking of times where people will be like, well, I asked you if you needed help. And even I have to fight the urge, well, I don't want to overextend your offer. Like, I only want to, what I'm trying to say is I only want to ask you when I know that I really truly need it. And I'm having to even break away from that. And it's bringing up like, well, dang, MarQuita, like, how did you become this person? And it's making me just think a lot about life, and like how you show up in one way is how you show up always. And so the business is just really showing me myself in areas that it's like, okay, you know, it's okay to receive help. It's okay for people to demonstrate love for you and donate their time and support. And so overall, to answer your question, again, it just really sits with being authentic to me. And so again, with all of my interactions, it's like, am I being clear? Am I communicating exactly what the issue is, what the need is? And I just truly believe, like, you know, from there you can have conversations with people, and you can really get past whatever comes up. But yeah.
And moms be coming through in the pinch.
My mom, listen, I'd be like, Mom, the feet hurt, the back hurt. I gotta lay it down, and she'll come through. We did an event for Christmas, and I came home. It was a 2-day event. I came home the first day, and I was completely sold out. And I think that was sold out.
That's myjamcompany.com. Get thyself down to the website.
I had came home, and my day had started at like 5:30, and it was 7:30. And I was cold. The building was cold. I was cold to my bones. And I just told my mom, like, I ain't got no more product. And all I could do was go to bed. And when I woke up, she had made that work. So
just
thanks,
waking up to jam being made.
Right?
Isn't that beautiful?
Isn't that beautiful? That is. Mother came through.
She did. Thanks, Mom.
How about y'all, sister over here?
Well, I will say this. I wouldn't want to do the journey with anybody else but her.
Oh.
And I say that because she gives me balance. Because I'm hardcore sometimes. I have no nonsense. In the beginning, we had a lot of help. But as we pivot and get to the next level, we've had to elevate. So what I know, what we do, because she shuts down and she'll get quiet. And I had to be real clear with her to talk to me. And so she gave me the example that I'm in the universe, like in the orbit. And I'm talking to her like she is not driving. And I da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then be like, what, you didn't get that? Her brain don't work that way. So the things that I'm great at, she doesn't try to do, and vice versa. Have there been some trying times? Absolutely, but that's part of the growth. But what we realized it was other people that started out that were helping us that really was costing us money.
Dropping bottles?
Labels on backwards. And when they would say, oh, we came to help, the help became a hindrance. So I'm very clear. And I will tell you I will fire you. But I'm also, the softy in me will fire you and bring you back. Princess is like, you talk too much, they gone. But they think it's really me. And they don't know that she just gave me a pep talk because she's like, you've repeated the same thing. So I fired family and friends. And I'm not playing. It's there's a certain level of what I need and what I want. So that in the beginning, it was fine. As we've gotten further in the business and the more we grow, even we just recently had a conversation. When we get to another level, at this next level that we're on our way to, they can't come. You can't take everybody with you because you'll wind up emotional vampires. We discussed that, emotional vampires, because sometimes your success and your drive make people uncomfortable. So I'm the Nordstrom's Target chick. Princess is the Macy's Walmart. She does like Target. But we had to find a happy medium because we are both our customers. We've been how many years into this as a team?
5.
5. So we've learned how to talk. um, to each other.
How to
And
disagree, probably too, amicably.
yeah, like,
Or like she said, like how she see things and how I see things.
yeah,
And so because I'm quiet, I don't talk and I don't communicate. We have to communicate for her to. So tell me what you need from me, and I'll tell you what I need from you. You can't be. I need you to do this, do this, do this, and I'm driving. You can't. You are way up here, and I'm trying to catch you. 'Cause I don't know what.
and so that's what she'll
I
do
need
to
you to
me.
bring back. I need you to come back down here.
And then I go, oh, okay, because that's how my brain works. So I think that, um, and trust is something that's real big, big for us. I trust her. I don't trust everybody. And I sure in the hell don't trust my family, right?
Yeah.
I trust them as far as I can see them, and I don't trust them then. Hate to say it, sorry, y'all get over it. You know who I am. But with her, we've been like this since we were raised like twins. And so I know that whatever's going to happen, she's not going to ever, that's just not who she is. So I can trust her with paperwork. I can trust her with my secrets. And it's been like that since I was a kid. So in business, that's why I say I don't want to do it without her. When she came home, there was a level of stress that was lifted off of me. I did like this. It was about 20 boxes of paperwork.
Bam.
Girl, I don't want to do this. And she was like, oh, this means this means this means that. Then also, because I'm very sensitive, that people don't know, sometimes my feelings are hurt and it's a trigger. She'll catch the trigger and she'll say, hey, like this with her hand, hey, I need you to tell me what is that? Because something has made you go there. And it allows me not to get caught up in the narrative that they're trying to hurt me, because I have trust issues, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that it can be sloppy, but it doesn't have to be, as long as the trust is one, and conversations. And even if we don't agree, what's the worst can happen? We ain't going to jail, right? Because we ain't wearing I don't wear her drawers and she don't wear mine, right? But it's just, I think that's, and I think that also there's a reason for this. The universe wants us to show that people can work together. My goal is for my family one day to work with us. But right now, until they get the mind right, they're not there. But I can't allow them to drown us. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because you got a lot in front of you. I mean, one thing I started to notice as I would meet different people and talk to different people, especially in the Hope class. And for people not familiar with Hope, 510 Media is a branding company here in Oakland. They have a nonprofit that has a class. The class is called Hope. Last year was called the Year of Hope, but I think we're getting rid of a year, and it's just Hope. And it's a class that's really based around entrepreneurship principles, but it's so much more than that. Behavioral science, and just it introduced me to a whole new way of thinking.
Yeah.
I would really credit a lot of what I learned over my first year in the class to why I decided to even do a podcast. A lot of what I learned in that class was helpful. A lot of the conversations I had with MarQuita were helpful to me in, finally pulling the trigger on it, because it had been something I thought about for a couple of years. But one thing that I started to notice as I met people in the class and talked to them that was a common thread is people talking about how Brownie helped mentor them. And I was like, Brownie has a real reputation for sharing what she knows. And you mentioned it earlier, holding the door open for people. Why has that been important to you? Because your business is successful. It would be very easy for you to make your sauce, cash out, and keep it at that. But you're reaching back and really creating opportunities and doing a lot of mentoring and teaching to people coming behind you. Why has that been important?
Before Brownie speaks on that, I just want to interrupt real quick.
Yes.
As an observer of her, I think, it's so beautiful to watch her. It's truly a gift that she has where she speaks life into people. And you can really tell that it's authentic to who she is. If you ever encounter Brownie, she's going to be warm. She's going to encourage you. And what I will say, being a woman in business, especially with entrepreneurship, you're going to encounter a lot of people that are going to tell you how you're not ready, what you are lacking, what you don't know. They're going to throw big words at you. It's going to, be to discourage you from whatever your dream may be. And what has been so different and so warm about Brownie is it's always you got it. Get your mind right. You got it.
Catchphrase.
She gonna always say that, and her energy and her spirit is just very different, and still very strong. And so I just wanted to chime in before she answered that question. So thank you, Brownie.
I think he was trying to punk me and make me cry.
No. We want to see them tears.
Not today.
But it's
Baby.
an impact, though, because what MarQuita is saying you have done for her is what she's in turn done for me, right? So you can see that moving around in a circle of that same energy.
We have forgotten the lady. I cannot wait for you guys to meet Barbara Edmonds. She's almost 90 years old, and when I tell you she's still blonde hair with makeup fully, you won't catch her ever slipping. That lady changed my life. When she figured out, like, she can't be this violent. You looked at me wrong. We was fighting, right? But she took the time out and gave me a different way to look at things because her mother sold her and her brothers.
Wow.
So when she told me my story, she didn't look like her story. She said, you are the author of your story. You change it. So from that, I didn't know that she was training me for who the woman I am today.
Mm-hmm.
So you always give back. Even though I've been dogged out sometimes, I'm never going to stop giving. Because I remember someone telling me, I remember a teacher in high school. I couldn't wait till that bitch walked by my salon and she didn't recognize me. And I was like, not only do I make more money than you, that was my business that you just walked in.
And your hair's probably tore up.
Yeah, she was bald-headed, little Jewish lady. She was just mad. Society wants us to not get along. And they perpetuate that with TV shows. I don't play that.
What TV shows? Let me just make sure I'm not watching any of those.
You got to be careful what you put into your spirit. And I'm like, this is not what we came out here for. Then you starting fights. Remember that they fought, some got into it with some girl. We don't come to Essence for that. We need to stop that. So that can be entertainment, but when it comes a part of your life. So why would I smile in her face and then try to shoot her down in a business and tell her to go stay with the real job? And why not? Why would I tell her that her product is not good? Why wouldn't I help her? It's so much money out here if we all get it together. We wound up meeting. Remember that lady we met? We took pictures, and then it was Essence Eats. And I said, take a picture of me right here because I'm going to be here. And I'm manifesting that because we didn't have social media when I was a kid. We didn't have cell phones when we were a kid. I said I was going to work with entertainers and I was going to be a millionaire. And I was going to make more money than everybody in my family, and I did it. So I'm going to share with everybody that I'm around. That you can't play small around me, though. So the other side of being nice, I am that bitch, too. So,
okay, so
In case you didn't know,
I think
she
the
is that
other
bitch.
part of what Brownie is saying, though, too, is a lot of times in business, we feel that we have to compete with each other.
yeah, we don't have to do that.
We don't have to do that. And sometimes God will position you in a place to say something or encourage or be a blessing to someone else that propels them to do amazing things. And so none of this is designed to hoard the information. We go so much further when we share. Shout out to Spice Sweet, who really demonstrates Black women coming together.
That's we stalk her.
We have food at home.
Black women coming together and what that can do, and how I have a space and an opportunity, and so I'm setting this up so you can use it too. Like, we're all in this together. We grow together. So yeah, I think that's kind of trickling back to what Brownie's point is. It's just,
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you play small around me. And when I say that, it's it's okay to be afraid. We're not going to get fear. Because when fear, you get stuck. So let's work that out. And if you don't have it, I got it. And I don't need you to pay for it.
Don't get stuck in the fear.
Don't get stuck. Because that fear will stifle you. It's okay to be afraid. But that fear, so then if someone that you know, and me and Marquia, I don't think you need to, you can be nice, say hello, but keep it fucking moving, right? Don't talk. She don't cuss, but I do. Like, keep it fucking moving. And then next thing you know, she's like, you know what, Brownie, you were right. And I'm like, I don't want to be right, but I want you to be aware of it because she's a helper too, right? Princess is a helper too.
Me too.
Yeah, I know. But I'm going to be that friend that be like, you can't help everybody. Until they get to a level of where they're open for it, because what'll happen is the distractions will come into play. Then you got to turn around and you trying to help her ass, but she ain't trying to do the work. So let's think about it. Let's strategize. We're not going to all agree. Me and her don't always agree. We just, okay, well, we don't agree with common chord. But at the end of the day, these are all life lessons, and we're just not going to walk away from it, especially when you see somebody that, like, could be so much bigger. So I feel like Essence was part of the nugget for her. She didn't know what she was going to do, but she was going to figure it out. But it was so much excellence in that building. But I've been doing it for years. So I'm going to share with anybody. And I'm going to die still giving back. Because somebody did it for me.
That's right.
You have to.
Each one, teach one.
Each one, teach one. Let's change the narrative. Because you don't never know who you sitting in a room with. You don't never know who you going to come across. You don't never know somebody that you were being mean to and turning your nose up could change your life.
Rachel Rodgers, in her book, I think it's called We Should All Be Millionaires, she was telling the story of someone else experience that she had. But basically, it was like at the end of the year, the lady was saying that she does a friendship evaluation. And as it pertains to friendship, as it pertains to business, but basically, how do I feel when I'm interacting with you? You know, am I always like in some drama because of you? Or, you know, do I get excited when I'm around you? Do we bounce good ideas around from each other? And so that's just a note that I took. And as we're having this conversation, I just thought about that. It's like all help is not helpful.
Yeah.
And everyone cannot go on this journey with you. And I've heard that so much. And I just was like, yeah, but what about the people that, you know, was there that helped you get started? But the reality is, as you grow, you're just not going to fit into certain spaces. And somehow we think that everything has to be forever. But life really is about experiences.
Yeah.
And it's so, you know, you and that person had that run and it grew you and you learned this and it did the same for them. And then you have to keep moving on to the next level. Unfortunately, sometimes when you try to pull people with you that are not growing at the same speed that you're growing, it's actually weighing you down. And so, and nothing has to be, it can all be love. It can all be.
It doesn't have to be volatile.
It doesn't have to be, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. But the whole point of going on this journey is change and growth. And so anytime that you want to stay stagnant or anything like that, you're really just keeping yourself from propelling and growing on this journey.
You want to lose weight? Don't hang out with your friends that like to eat donuts. So with friendships, it's the same way. It's some people will, you got to be careful because you still got to check self, right? You have to look at yourself and say, if I'm the only person that's performing and all my friends are not performing, then I must need somebody to give me a pat on the back.
Yeah.
So you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable with people that are not on your level, that you want to get on their level.
Something to step up to.
You got to be, because you got to see how they eat and how they move. So for me, I had that in me to a certain extent as a kid, but then I put myself in situations to watch people. But when I got in the position to travel, I was so quiet, but I never left the room. Being quiet sometimes is more powerful. I watched and seen how they move. So when I worked for the artist, he signed his checks on the 1st and 15th. I needed to know why. He grew up on the system.
Yeah.
But it was also discipline. He signed his own checks. He knew where that money was. And then one day he's like, Brownie, you should always know where your money is. Ooh. Because I didn't like to do all that. I just knew it was there. And then when it wasn't there, or maybe I did something wrong. Didn't know that every time somebody went to the bank, they was taking out an extra 60. You make a deposit, you had took out 100. Till I found the receipts in the car.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But then that's radical responsibility. That's on me. So with your friends, it's not envy or even jealousy. Everybody has a gift. Everybody has been woken out they sleep with a gift. It's the fear that has been planted from childhood, which is them bullshit ass rules about you wish you coulda, woulda, shoulda, and you're not gonna make it. All of that bullshit, or you gotta do this. Everybody has a different journey.
Yeah.
So what happens is, to keep it from being where it has to be volatile, because sometimes we hold on to friends because it's almost as if they died by losing them, right? But you're dying with them. So you got to move past that and say, you're busy, because you are busy. So if you want to be around me, we moving and shaking. It's either going to rub up on them, and then they'll start questioning you. So how I back people up off me, if I talk, you better have a notebook. If you don't do a notebook, you pull out your phone, I bust out laughing and walk away. I don't do a whole bunch of talking. If I take the time and talk, I want a notebook.
Yeah.
Because that means that you're going to write it to remember it.
Right.
And that means that, because we all do things differently.
And don't be taking notes in your phone.
No,
you said.
no.
You got to put pen on paper.
Pen on paper. You write your dreams down. I still have my notes, my journals from when I was a kid. And what I said I was going to do, what I do?
I'm going to do that. I'm doing that. That's what I'm going to do. That's how she said.
This
That's what I'm going to do.
This conversation has been so amazing, and you each have just brought up things that I think have been so pertinent to each of your own success. Discipline, authenticity, Princess, the communication and knowing how to navigate those spaces, even in the times where it's hard. I can see all of these things lending themselves to why y'all have been able to be successful as a unit, why you've been able to be successful individually. As we wind down, just give like a quick plug on where people can find your product and what's next for you in the immediate future.
You can find us at our store in Point Richmond. We're currently open 3 days a week, but we're looking to expand for 2022. We got some big things coming for 2022.
Big things popping.
Yes.
Online, of course, online sales. Brown.
We doing some big stuff. And in the midst of doing the big stuff, we taking people with us. Like that one right there.
Like this one over here.
That MarQuita girl. That MarQuita girl.
Jam.
Yeah, I will say forever be a student. Yeah, I think when you stop learning, you stop growing. Forever be a student. Some of the most powerful people in the world, if you know their story, that is the fuel. So you don't have to be the narrative. Let that be the fuel for you to be successful and take it to the next level by any means necessary. What's the worst can happen?
Hey.
I have my jams available online. It's that'smyjamcompany.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at that'smyjamcompany.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to be showing videos of how you can cook with your jam. We really want to get away from this whole toast and biscuit being the only option. And so we're showing you guys how you can utilize your jams in other ways. And so that will be launching, that has launched actually. We're going to have some gift sets. And so I will be coming out with some biscuit mixes so that, you got the perfect biscuit and jam gift set to give out. Yeah, so we have some other great things coming in 2022. But if I had to leave something, I would say what I have learned, it's very important who you surround yourself with. And, a lot of us come from families that have taught us that we have to stick together. We've had very long friendships with certain people. And we can love all of those people, but there are going to be some times where you're going to get discouraged, you're going to get overwhelmed. You might even want to just walk away and give up. And you need to be able to pick up a phone, send an email, have a conversation with someone who can speak life into you and encourage you. You want that conversation to be honest. You want that person to be in the arena, as Brene Brown talks about. You want them to be in the arena with as well. And so you're going to have to get outside of just your family and your friends, and you're going to have to, talk and be vulnerable and meet people. And maybe wherever you are, there is not necessarily a group that you're familiar with at this moment. So it's just, when you see entrepreneurs and you ask them and you build the relationship and you connect with other people, but having your tribe, the people that are in the arena, is very important. And as you grow in your journey, you're going to need those people and need those conversations. So,
Well, I'm glad y'all all in the tribe. And I'm glad to be a witness to all of your journeys, wherever they are and wherever they're going next. And I'm glad y'all came. Episode 2.
Episode 2.
In the can.
Look, what's that song I sent us? Ain't no stopping us.
Ain't no stopping us now.
The other one I know.
Yeah.
Oh, they trying to hate on
They
me.
hating on you.
They not. It's not. It's a lot of love.
It is. I love all y'all. Episode
you
2,
too.
as
Episode
told
2.
by, with Princess, Brownie, and MarQuita, at The Final Sauce and at That's My Jam Company on Instagram. You also can follow me at K in the Bay. I'm going to go through all the underscores just to make sure you find the right K in the Bay. KAY_IN_THE_BAY_. Or if you want to follow me on my personal account and get to know me a little bit better, you can follow me at Kahja versus Kahja. That's KAHJA_VS_KAHJA. Thank y'all so much for listening. New episodes drop every other Tuesday, so I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.